Hi, this is Dietrich. I'm posting a video response, and well, for a friend of mine, she posted something about blind faith and what's currently going on with the the whole deal with the priests and the allegations held against them from victims of rape, which and also the apparent cover-up that's going on in some of the highest levels of the upper echelon in the Vatican. Um, as as far as my personal feelings about that issue, anything, whatever we need to do to bring these monsters to justice needs to be done. Um, if it goes all the way up, if Pope Benedict, if he indeed knew what was going on in some of these churches and some of these Catholic schools, and most definitely he needs to be brought up on whatever possible charges he can be brought on, whether it's conspiracy, whether it's obstruction of justice, what have you. Because that it's just horrible. I'm not Catholic. Uh, the only time I've ever been inside of a Catholic church was on like a field trip in architecture class or something like that. But I feel that as far as the specific religion and Catholics in general speaking out against it, absolutely, I believe that Catholics, we should speak out, absolutely. As far as the religion itself condoning it, I don't believe at all that the Catholic religion, which besides the of course the history that the church has had with suppression of others' faiths, of suppression of science and philosophy. The religion itself, the practices, the ritual, it's fairly beautiful, I think. But of course, there is a history. And what I personally feel, though, as far as the faith itself, I don't believe it's the faith itself. I believe what these people are doing, it's exploitation. It is just like what's going on in Wall Street. We have companies that are tanking because their CEOs have not done the job, have stolen from the company, have stolen from the workers, have exploited them for their own gains. I believe this is the same thing that's going on. I don't think it's anything that has to do with faith. To make it a faith issue would be, I think, making a scapegoat. I liken it to the many tragedies that's gone on in human history where it was pinned on other people. Like during the Black Plague, many Jews were burned because they felt that it's not something that particularly happened in nature, but they needed a way out. And or just any other tragedy that may have happened. How even nowadays we have the 9/11 Truth Movement, who despite evidence to the contrary, they, for whatever ends or means, they really believe that the government, either the government had something to do directly or what have you. But that's a whole another video post. I won't even get to that. I believe that just blaming the religion itself serves nothing, but it does no justice to the victims. I mean, the victims themselves were Catholic. I'm sure that I just believe that it does us no purpose is to blame the religion itself, because it all boils down to man's indifference to man, whether it not be the rape victims in the Catholic Church, or the Nazis persecuting the Jews and exterminating the Jews, or even it doesn't have anything to do with, it may not even have anything to do with race, or race or religion itself. Because Stalin killed far more people than Hitler ever did, and that wasn't done in the name of a religion. It was his own self-interest at stake. These priests that were abusing these children, it was their own selfish, perverted needs that they felt that needed to be met. And I constantly hope that these victims get the justice that they deserve. And these priests or bishops or whatever who's been doing it, they need to be brought to criminal trials, criminal courts, and taken care of. As far as putting blind faith in just about anything, I absolutely agree. Blind faith in anything, whether it be Catholicism, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, or atheism. Blind faith in anything possible that you can even come up with an idea or a feeling about is not a good thing at all. As a matter of fact, I see many activist atheists. Some of these people, they're really so hardcore into their belief, or non-belief, what have you, which I consider it almost a religion in and of itself. They're convinced about their way of life, and they're convinced that what they're doing is right, and they want to convince others of their plight, and damn anyone who disagrees. I've struggled with the issue of faith myself. For a good while, actually, I considered myself agnostic. I was open to it. I wasn't fairly convinced, because I was born Christian. Well, I was raised Christian, rather. I was raised Christian, and growing up, I had my doubt issues, and I got to the point where I just didn't believe it anymore. And it really struck me how people responded to that. Like when I told Christian friends and Christian family members, it wasn't hostile. They said, I will keep praying for you. They said if I ever needed to talk about it anytime, just to let them know. And I found that it was really odd, because I noticed that some of my atheist friends or others, of other faiths, they would say things like, well, welcome to the light, hey, finally, welcome to free thought, hey, welcome to the intellectual side, or whatever have you. And I was always wondering, these people I've known, most of my adult life, and I wonder what they thought about me before I decided that, I was agnostic or borderline atheist. And, it was just really striking to hear what people, thought in the back of their minds. And I wonder if everyone has a certain degree, even in this, civilized age, if people actually have this borderline, I wouldn't say prejudiced, I'd say, I don't know, maybe prejudiced is the word, or like a subtle intolerance, rather, of those of faith or those without faith. Because I've seen it go both ways. But any way you discover it, it's always a person. It's the individual that chooses to act with what they are given. It's the same issue with guns. Guns don't kill people, people kill people. That's how I've always lived by that. And it's, what you decide to do with what you're given in a free society is what makes you who you are. Whether or not you were, Christian and well accepting of other people's other faiths, which I've known many, and I've also known many religious people who, even within a denomination, were very intolerant of even those they went to church with, because they felt that they were chosen over all these other people. Whether or not it be, atheists, whether or not you're on the fence about it, or whether or not you just don't believe for whatever reasons. Science is your thing, which is well and good, and you let live and let live. And then there are the condescending types. I've noticed a lot of people who they've put themselves up here, and those of faith down there as far as intellectuals, which I don't think that religion and intellect, or religion and intelligence, are correlated at all. I believe it's a good thing to be able to think what you feel in a free society, and I think that those that would connect intellect with religion, with what you believe, they really need to check their own hearts. Because many great scientists, many great thinkers, many great painters, whether or not whatever issue they felt at the time was radical, they believed in a higher power, and it's just tolerance. People just need to be able